Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.
What's up, everybody? It's Billy Brisbane, aka at Getting Bills over on Twitter. Man, that was a tongue twister. San Francisco 49ers, 3.5-point road favorites over the Tennessee Titans. Over under here is 45.5. This is the Thursday night football showdown preview. First guy that we're going to look at, though, is going to be Ryan Tannehill. San Francisco has allowed 18.1 PPR points to opposing quarterbacks over its last 5 games, which ranks 17th versus quarterbacks during that time span. Tannehill should have A.J. Brown and Julio both back and healthy, which should help his fantasy value. A lot of his fantasy value of recent, to be honest with you, has been tied to his rushing floor, rushing touchdown in back-to-back games. But the second guy that we're going to look at is going to be the cover boy of the video, my favorite play of the slate here. It's going to be Deebo Samuel, $14,500 on FanDuel and $11,600 on DraftKings. Samuel has cooled down of recent with just 1 reception each of his previous 3 games before the 4-catch game last week against Atlanta. He gets a great matchup versus Tennessee, who ranks 30th for adjusted fantasy points allowed to the wide receiver position. He's a dual threat fantasy threat too, so he's a great option at the MVP position, especially here on FanDuel. He's going to be my preferred MVP at $14,500. But the last stud that we'll talk about up here in this price range is going to be Jimmy Garoppolo, man. I'm going to plant my flag on Jimmy G in the showdown slate, man. Jimmy Garoppolo is in a good spot here. Tennessee has looked a lot better defensively against a run, but still vulnerable against the pass attack. And ideally, it makes sense to play the quarterback with how these 49er pass catchers are projecting. Tennessee is ranked 23rd against the pass and have allowed 261.2 yards per game to the quarterback position. One of my favorite pass catchers to pair up with Jimmy in this slate is going to be George Kittle at $13,000 on FanDuel and also $11,200 on DraftKings. Kittle has averaged 77.3 receiving yards per game, which is 8.8 more yards than his projected 68.5 receiving yard prop tonight. He's gone over 68.5 yards in 54% of his games so far this season, so 6 out of 11 games. But Kittle has gone only over the projected number 68.5 in 36% of his games, so 4 out of 11 games. Kittle's had a receiving touchdown in 5 out of 11 games so far this season, and only 1 game with a multi-touchdown game. So, Kittle's a good play. Might not be able to hit his ceiling, but you never know in this 49ers pass-catching offense. Kind of hard to predict outside of Deebo Samuel, but going down a little bit more, we'll talk about Brandon Ayuk. We'll talk about the Ayuk man here. This is a really good price tag on FanDuel. $10,000 on FanDuel is a superb price tag. $8,000 over there on DraftKings. Ayuk was a bust last week with only 1 catch off of 2 targets for 36 yards. It was a weird game that just didn't break his way. Like we talked about earlier with Deebo Samuel, this is a great matchup. The Titans ranked 2nd in fantasy points per game to the wide receiver position. So Brandon Ayuk definitely due for a bounce back on this short slate. But let's get into some 49ers. Not the 49ers. Let's get into some Tennessee Titans talk, though. A.J. Brown is going to be back. He's listed on the IR right now, but basically when the inactive reports come out, he's going to be active and ready to go. I like this spot for A.J. Brown. I expect his ownership to be somewhat low with everybody seeing the red tag next to his name. The 49ers defense has allowed the 11th most fantasy points to the wide receiver position through 15 weeks so far this season. Even with Julio Jones out there, Brown is still the alpha number 1 wide receiver and should lead this team in targets and has a lot of upside on this slate. That would be my favorite Tennessee Titan to play on this slate is going to be A.J. Brown, but the second favorite Tennessee Titan is going to be Deontay Foreman. Deontay Foreman, man, the second coming of my boy, Derrick Henry, man. Deontay Foreman has been getting the job done while they're still splitting some backfield touches. Since Henry's departure for the season in Week 9, Foreman has had 85 touches for 465 yards and 1 rushing touchdown in 6 games. Dontre Hillard and Jeremy McNichols have combined for 79 touches during this span. But I do like Deontay Foreman's price tag, $11,500, $7,000 on DK. That is going to be one of my favorite Tennessee Titans plays of the slate. The other guy was Julio Jones. His price tag is $10,000 and $6,800. But the last guy that we're going to talk about here for the 49ers is going to be Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson, $11,000 and $5,200. Should fill in here for Eli Mitchell, who's going to be out for this game. But the Titans allow the fewest fantasy points to the RB position. I would expect the 49ers to switch some things up and get Deebo Samuel the ball. Value-wise, let's talk about some value plays on the slate because there's not a lot of clear-cut value plays on the slate. My favorite value play of the slate so far has been the actual kicker of this game is going to be Robbie Gould. I like his price tag at $9,000. To be honest with you, he's had 3 straight games of scoring at least 7 fantasy points, and the 49ers offense has looked pretty good of recent too. I'm trying to find this my bookie promo here. Make sure you use that my bookie promo code PUBSports for your deposit code. So you can get on to the free money, man. My bookie has, I think it's any team to score a field goal, you will win your bet. I forget how that goes, but check your MyBookie account, use promo code PUBSports, and check that out. But Robbie Gould, favorite value play of the slate, going down a little bit more, though. Other value plays that I liked on the slate was Randy Bullock, $4,200, $8,500. I'd be a bit more inclined to play Robbie Gould at that price tag. And then Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, you can put him in your player pool, but I feel like he's a little bit too expensive at $5,400, $7,500. I would be a little bit more interested at playing Jawan Jennings, who had a 24% target share last week and really busted a lot of Ayuk chalk last week. Jawan Jennings has been looking pretty good of recent. So if you're looking at a receiving yard prop, his prop is at 21.5 yards. So if you're playing over there on Prize Picks, Monkey Night Fight, or even just a player prop, that might be one guy you want to circle here is Jawan Jennings. But if you like this type of video, make sure you hit the like button on your way out and hit the bell notification for all of our videos over here on Pub Sports Radio. And as for me, you can follow me over on Twitter at Getting Bills. Have a safe, blessed holiday, and make sure you check out Manscaped, promo code Pub Sports on your checkout. Free shipping, free delivery. If you haven't gotten a Christmas gift yet, bro, it's Thursday.